What if the very thing most people spend their entire lives chasing is the same thing that slowly isolates them from the world? We're told that wealth brings freedom, influence, control, the ability to shape your own reality. But what if power doesn't just elevate you? What if it quietly separates you? Behind the gates, beyond the boardrooms, and far above the average paycheck, something unexpected begins to happen. The circle gets smaller, conversations get filtered, trust becomes rare, and the higher someone climbs, the fewer people they can truly speak to. This isn't about jealousy or stereotypes. It's about psychology. It's about how authority changes relationships, how money reshapes perception, and why some of the most powerful individuals in the world struggle with a kind of loneliness most of us never see. Today, we're uncovering the hidden cost of success and why isolation might be power's most dangerous side effect. If you're curious about the unseen truths behind success, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment your thoughts below. The paradox of success. The higher you climb, the smaller your circle gets. Wealth and influence promise freedom and control, but power subtly reshapes your social world. As your status grows, people start interacting differently. Admiration replaces honesty, and friendships can feel transactional. A 2012 study from University of California, Berkeley found that high-ranking individuals are more likely to interrupt others and show less empathy. The higher you climb, the fewer people can relate to your experiences. Even well-meaning friends may unintentionally create distance. This paradox creates an invisible trap. Success elevates you, but it also limits authentic connection. The question becomes not how high you climb, but who remains beside you on the way up. Trust becomes a luxury. Do they like you or your status? Trust is fragile, and wealth complicates it. Once someone achieves significant success, every gesture is scrutinized. Compliments may feel strategic, friendships transactional, and intentions suspect. A 2018 survey by Harvard Business Review found that over 50% of CEOs reported loneliness as a major challenge, while research from The Ohio State University shows leaders often suppress vulnerability, fearing judgment. The emotional burden is heavy. You constantly ask yourself, are they my friend or just here for what I have? Every interaction becomes a test. Even family relationships can strain under the pressure of wealth and expectation. Trust becomes a rare commodity, and isolation can grow silently, hidden behind luxury and power. The invisible wall of power. Why no one tells you the truth anymore. Power doesn't just change you, it changes everyone around you. Subordinates, colleagues, even close friends begin to filter their words. Negative feedback diminishes. Opinions are softened. Research in organizational psychology confirms that people are less likely to deliver honest criticism to authority figures, and classic experiments by Stanley Milgram show how authority reshapes behavior. Over time, a subtle wall forms. Everyone tells you what they think you want to hear. Decisions may seem easier, but the reality is harsher. Without unfiltered perspectives, your perception of the world becomes limited. This isolation is invisible, and one of the most dangerous consequences of wealth and power. Money and social distance. Different worlds, different realities. Wealth changes more than your bank balance. It changes your entire social landscape. Different environments, lifestyles, and priorities gradually separate you from the people you once related to. A Princeton study by Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton found that while income improves happiness up to a comfort threshold, beyond that, emotional well-being plateaus. Higher wealth often means living in insulated neighborhoods, attending exclusive events, and interacting with peers who have vastly different life experiences. Shared experiences shrink, and conversations feel filtered or superficial. Even subtle lifestyle gaps, the cars you drive, vacations you take, or daily routines, can reinforce invisible social barriers. Connection becomes an intentional effort rather than an effortless part of life. the fear of losing it all. Success creates pressure, not peace. Here's something most people never consider. The more you have, the more you can lose. And that changes your brain. A study published in Nature Human Behavior found that individuals in high-status roles experience elevated cortisol levels linked to performance pressure and social evaluation. In simple terms, power increases stress, especially when reputation is involved. Research from Harvard Business School shows that nearly 58% of executives report significant stress tied directly to maintaining status and expectations, not building wealth, maintaining it. And here's the psychological trap. Success creates visibility. Visibility creates scrutiny. Scrutiny creates fear. Fear of betrayal. Fear of replacement. Fear of public failure. When everyone relies on you, vulnerability feels dangerous. But suppressing vulnerability increases emotional isolation, according to leadership psychology research. And the higher someone rises, the less safe it feels to fall. Can power and connection coexist? Breaking the isolation trap. So, is loneliness inevitable at the top? Not necessarily, but it requires intention. The longest-running study on human happiness, conducted by Harvard University, tracked participants for over 80 years. Its conclusion was clear. Strong relationships are the single greatest predictor of long-term well-being. Not income, not fame, not achievement. Yet data from executive leadership surveys shows nearly 50% of top-level leaders struggle to form peer-level friendships because they lack equals in their environment. Power creates hierarchy.L. Hierarchy limits emotional symmetry, and connection requires symmetry. If connection is the real currency of happiness, then why do so many powerful people end up bankrupt in it? Breaking isolation requires private spaces without hierarchy, honest feedback loops, relationships that existed before status. Power doesn't automatically remove connection, but it demands deliberate effort to protect it. The hidden cost of success. When you reach the top, then what? We're taught to measure life by accumulation. More money, more influence, more recognition. But what happens when you finally arrive and realize the view is quieter than you expected? Research by Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton found that emotional well-being rises with income only up to a comfortable threshold. After that, increases in wealth have diminishing effects on daily happiness. In other words, once survival and comfort are secured, money stops solving emotional needs. At the same time, global loneliness is rising. A report from Cigna revealed that over 60% of adults experience regular loneliness, and high-status individuals often report an additional layer: distrust. When you can't tell who values you versus your position, connection becomes complicated. Here's the paradox. Power gives you access, but reduces relatability. Success brings admiration, but filters honesty. Wealth creates security, but can quietly build walls. And walls, even golden ones, still separate. So maybe the real cost of success isn't stress. It isn't pressure. It isn't competition. It's distance. Distance from equals. Distance from vulnerability. Distance from being known, not for your title, but for who you actually are. The question isn't whether wealth is good or bad. The question is this: if you reached the top tomorrow, who would you trust enough to sit beside you in silence? Because in the end, achievement impresses the world, but connection sustains the soul. And without it, even power can feel painfully empty.